beautiful day. Hey, welcome to Cruise Chat Live. How's everybody doing in the YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook world? We've got everybody joined together. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Walter, your independent travel agent. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining in for about the next hour or so. My lovely wife, Rebecca, who is sitting right off camera, and I are going to do our best to answer your questions about all things cruising. And of course, we'll talk about some cruise news and some groups that we've got going on and things like that. But I'm going to start right off with John, who is up in the Buffalo area. He has 2 feet of snow overnight. Congratulations, John. We're freezing down here. It's like 65 degrees. It's absolutely freezing down here in Orlando. So I don't know how it is up there, but I got to tell you, man, it is so cold, and you can see it's freezing down here. You can see. So John has 2 feet of snow. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Thanks so much for coming in. I see we got Sue, John, Kurt, Bill's fan, and Fred is here. And we got a whole bunch of people joining in on TikTok. I can't keep up, y'all. There's so many of you. Good morning, all. Hey, if you're new to the channel, I invite you to like, share, subscribe, and do all the wonderful things that all of the social channels like you to do. We really appreciate all of your support. And of course, if there's anything we can do to help with your travels, our services are 100% free to you. So just reach out, where'swaltertravel.com, or wherever you're watching us. There's links in our profile. There's links in the description. There's links out there to get in touch with us. All it takes is you set up an appointment. I give you a call, and then we go from there. So good Sunday morning, everybody. Hey, Benny and Larry are here now as well. Of course, I always have to ask every Sunday, who's going out on a cruise? Who's on a cruise? Who is getting ready for a cruise? And hey, since it's cold, what's the weather like where y'all are at right now? We've got, let's see, Barbara says it is 42 in the Panhandle. Woo. 42 in the Panhandle. You hear that, John? We're freezing down here in Florida, man. We're freezing. You keep the snow. That is awesome. Good morning, Cheryl. How are you? Good morning, everybody who's joining us on TikTok. There's so many. It's hard for me to keep up, but Sue and Phil, morning from 62 degrees in Mims near Port Canaveral. So you got 62. We got about 64 over here. John is going to the Bills game tonight. You see that, Bills fan 72? He is going to the Bills game tonight.
Ooh, is
that
in Buffalo?
That is brave. Yeah, that is going to be in Buffalo. Wow, John. We've got 25 degrees in Ohio, 26 in snow on the go up there in where Cheryl is. John, everybody say a prayer for John to stay warm tonight at the Buffalo Bills game. That's going to be amazing.
25 in Ohio. I think we have a winner.
25 in Ohio. So, I bet, John hasn't given us a temperature yet. I'm betting it's really cold up there in Buffalo right now. So, but how you doing? How you doing, guys? It's so good to see everybody. Terry says only 20 days to the Celebrity Apex. You're going to have an amazing time on that cruise ship. What a beautiful ship. We are looking at that for Thanksgiving next year. You know, we kind of teased, I think last week or week before that, we're going to do a Thanksgiving group next year. Well, we're looking very seriously at the Celebrity Apex. Problem is there's no more group space left. So it's going to probably be one of these, we're going on the Apex, and if you want to come cruise with us, we'll try to put together some sort of an amenity package or something, some little extras for the group, but there won't be any group rates or anything like that. So if you're interested, maybe going on a Celebrity Apex cruise with us next Thanksgiving, that's what we're looking at. It's going to be out of Port Canaveral. So Benny is 64 where he is in Florida. Leslie is saying it's 43 degrees in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. 70 degrees in Southern California. Mary is absolutely freezing right now. Mary, you probably have the fireplace going and all that good stuff, I'm sure, in Southern California. 32 degrees in Arkansas, where Stacy is. That's 0 for the Celsius, folks. Wow, you are right on freezing there, Stacy.
25 in Ohio is still the winner.
Yeah, 25. Well, John says is in the 20s up there in Buffalo. Is 35 in Maryland.
20 what? We need specifics.
Toronto is 31 degrees Fahrenheit. Larry's saying 48 days to the Celebrity Apex. So we got 2 people going on the Celebrity Apex pretty soon. And John had been on that ship before. John is a big fan of the retreat and everything to do with celebrity and what is not to love about celebrity. Aga says it's 33 in New Jersey. It's a pretty cool morning, right? I mean, it's about what it should be for Thanksgiving weekend, right? John's a winner. Wind chill minus 20 degrees. John, you are the winner. That is cold up there. If anybody can beat minus 20 degrees wind chill.
No, I want
wow.
this straight up temperature.
I'm telling you, man, it is cold out there. So, but how's everybody doing? So if you're new to the channel, you're new to the show, we spend about the next hour or so trying to answer as many questions as we can about all things cruising. If you've got questions about cruising, we are travel agents. We just celebrated our second year in business. We're a premier travel agency in the U.S. now, and we're top 100 at Virgin Voyages 2 years running. That reminds me, if you're watching on TikTok and you'd like to ask questions about Virgin Voyages, please use the initials VB. TikTok will block you if you try to use the word Virgin on Virgin Voyages. It's silly, I know. They have a huge TikTok channel, so why would they do that? I don't know. But if you want to ask questions about Virgin Voyages, please use the letters VB.
Can Virgin use the word Virgin on their own channel?
I have no idea. Well, you can use it in the description, but I don't know if you can use it during a live stream. So Buffalo says it's 29. So love that. Larry, great question. Do we have plans to go on the Sun Princess again or the Star? We don't have immediate plans. We want to go back on. Yeah, we definitely would go back on the Sun. I love that cove balcony so much. Sun Princess is a lovely ship. They did some things wrong. I'm very curious if that had a direct impact on John Paget, who is the president of Princess, suddenly being pushed out. I would say, well, he's leaving. They didn't say he was pushed out, but he's leaving. And the president of Holland America is now taking over for Princess. And we have a new president of Holland America. But the ship itself is absolutely beautiful. Where they kind of messed up a little bit on that were the venues. The performance venues are small. And they made a lot of promises that they just simply didn't keep when it came to the entertainment. So the ship has a ton of potential. Things could be made right. Things could be done better, especially up in the dome if they start doing like reserved seating so people are not waiting for 90 minutes to see a 20-minute show. So yes, absolutely. I would love to see the Star because I would love to go on the Star and see did they change anything at all? It's going to be kind of hard to change too much because the ship was already basically halfway done by the time the Sun came out. If they build another one, I don't know if they're going to build another Sphere class ship, but if they do, that's probably when we would really start to see some differences on there.
Hopefully the Star would come out with all the shows ready. Obviously they can scrap Park 19 before it even gets put up, and they can have the restaurants where they want them.
So Park 19, I believe, is going to have pickleball courts. They've already said up there, which is smart. I mean, they could probably put 3 or 4 courts up there. So high school baseball, you'd love the Icon. Icon of the Seas is a really fun ship. I was not prepared to like it as much as I did. It's one of my favorite Royal Caribbean ships out there. Mariner of the Seas and Icon are my 2 favorites when it comes to Royal Caribbean. Do we do Alaskan cruises? Absolutely. In fact, we have a group cruise going up next year on Oceania, but I've honestly lost track of how many cruises and cruise tours that we booked in Alaska right now. That's kind of become one of our specialties. We've been to Alaska in the past on Princess, but next year we have a 12-night group cruise going up on the Oceania Riviera, 12 nights round trip out of Seattle. It's going to be absolutely amazing, June 26th through July 8th. And if you'd like more information about that, our pricing with the Black Friday sales, our pricing is in like the $500 savings range. It was up to $2,000, but now with the Black Friday sales is a little bit closer. But the 2 things that we do have that's not included with Oceania is we have a drinks package included, and we have a $600 shore excursion credit. Both of those are not included in the standard Oceania rate. So even so you get a lower rate with us, and then you get those amenities added on. But we have booked a ton of Princess. We've booked a ton of Holland America. We've booked some Celebrity up there as well, even some Royal Caribbean in Alaska.
Norwegian.
And even Norwegian, yeah. So if you'd like to talk about Alaskan cruises, you just reach out. You're watching me on TikTok. So if you go to my profile, there is a link tree, and it's going to be contact us link in there, or you just simply go to where'swaltertravel.com, use the contact page and set up a meeting that's convenient for you, and I'll give you a call. So yeah, absolutely, we do that. But yeah, if anybody would like to join us on that Alaska cruise, that's going to be absolutely amazing. What are my thoughts on Seabourn? Seabourn, yes. Seabourn's an interesting animal because we don't book a ton of Seabourn. Thank you, C Company, Campion 5. I'm so sorry. I probably mispronounced it, but thank you. Seaborn's an interesting animal because we don't book all that much of Seaborn. It's kind of like, we don't really talk about it that much. We book more Silver Sea. We're really starting to book a lot of Explorer journeys. In fact, we're going on the Explorer 2 in a week and a half. Yeah, 12 days. We'll be on the Explorer 2. So Explorer is starting to make a lot of noise with our client, and rightfully so, because it's an amazing cruise line. But Seaborn is kind of like a specialized animal. I think Gary Bembridge just completed like his third Antarctica cruise, and I think they've all been on Seaborn. So Seaborn is an amazing cruise line. Excellent accommodations, excellent service, and really interesting and unique itineraries. We just don't talk about it that much. We don't get a lot of requests for Seaborn. We get a lot more requests for Silver Sea, Explorer, Azamara, Oceana. But it's a great cruise line. I mean, if you'd like to talk about booking a cruise with them, or looking at, Seaborn versus Silver Sea, Azamara, Explorer, and all the other guys, we'd be more than happy to. Just go ahead and reach out. I mean, our services are free to you. So, but good cruise line. Very, 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 very good cruise line. Larry said they're thinking of the Star in 2027. Is it a good idea? Sure. Star Princess. Great ship. I mean,
or are you talking Star of the Seas? Which star?
Well, he asked about the Sun Princess and
gotcha.
the Star Princess earlier. So he's talking about the Star Princess.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Star Princess is going to be a beautiful ship. Here's what I would recommend. If you're going on the Sun Princess or the Star Princess, book that Sanctuary collection. It is stunning. And there is one balcony category, 2 mini suite categories, and then, of course, all the suites have access to. You got the Sanctuary Club up on the top. You've got the lounge in the back. Then you got the restaurant up in the front. Absolutely 100% worth it. John's watching here. John did an upgrade bid to it. And he got me in there. It was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, definitely Star Princess. Feel free to reach out. Now, the one thing I will say, it's going to Alaska. I'm not a big fan of that ship in Alaska because I think it's a little bit too big. Having been on it, it's a big ship. I don't know how she's going to do with docking in some of the locations where Princess, traditionally docks. I would still stick with a Sapphire Princess, a Coral Princess, an Island Princess for Alaska. But, there are people going, I can see why it would be good up there. There's a lot of good sight lines. It's a ship that's built for the outdoors. Deck 9 will be a beautiful spot. Up top will be a beautiful spot. Of course, you can be sitting in the Sphere and see outside. So I can see the appeal for Alaska. It's not the one I would book for Alaska, but definitely going on it. Hey, Peggy, how you doing? Hey, Norma, how you doing? Diana wants to know what cruise is good for families with kids ages 14, 8, and 2. And great-grandparents and grandparents. So a multi-generational ship. So right off the bat, now a specific cruise, I don't know without asking a lot more information about that. But the cruise line that you're certainly going to start looking at, you're going to look at Royal Caribbean, you're going to look at Carnival, you're going to look at Norwegian, you might even look at Disney, 4 very good cruise lines, and then MSC with caveats. The ones that I would probably lean into would be Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and Disney. Those would probably be the 3 that I would lean into. And then it just depends, well, what amenities you want. Because like Royal Caribbean has 27 ships or 26 ships. They're all different. You've got the very small ships up to the Icon class, and each class comes with a little something different. The same thing with Carnival. Carnival has different classes of ships that come with different amenities on board. So first of all, we need to know, well, what do the kids want to do? What do the parents want? And what do the grandparents want? Because yes, we can find ships that will fill in most of those gaps. Not going to be perfect for everybody, but we need to find ships that, because if you find a ship that the kids are going to have a great time on, but then the parents and the grandparents don't have a good time, well, what's the point of that? You want to try to find a ship that when you're on it, everybody can find something that they enjoy to do. Whether that's food, whether that's trivia, whether that's games, whether that's water slides, ice skating, all of the various things that you can do on a ship. Then we need to find an itinerary that works for everybody. And as I always talk about, depending on when you want to go, where you want to leave from, and what you want to see, there's going to be a finite number of ships that are available. So just because Royal Caribbean has 27 ships, there might be 3 in that port at the time. There might be 2 Carnival ships. There might be 1 Disney ship. So now we've got a smaller selection of ships to choose from. And then from those ships, we need to take everything that you and I talked about and find the specific ship. So that's where I would start. But then finding the specifics would be based on the conversation with you. Yeah, go ahead.
Just one thing to be aware of with the 2-year-old, there's going to be many of the kids clubs won't take 2-year-olds unattended. You can go, the parents can go with them sometimes, depending on the rules.
Yeah.
And if they're not potty trained, there potentially is going to be very limited water things available to them.
Yeah.
Because
like
even in a swim dipper, you cannot take a child. So you gotta bear that in mind too. But I mean, presumably the 2-year-old will be with you most of the time.
Yes, and I see Kurt over here saying he can't wait to celebrate his birthday on the Norwegian Aqua, which is another group that we got going on May 31st of 2025. Is a 7-night cruise out of Port Canaveral. We've got like 3 cabins left on it at significant savings over what Norwegian is charging right now. If you want to come join us on that, we've actually got 5 cruises, five group cruises going right now. And Kurt says you can't wait to do the dune buggies through the mud. Yes, we're going to have to find that excursion because Rebecca won't go. So, Kurt, if your wife doesn't want to do that either, the 2 of us are just going to have to go and get really muddy together, because when you go to Puerto Plata, folks, there is a mud buggies excursion that if you want to get muddy, it is the dirtiest I've ever been in my life. And I don't think I've had so much fun in my life. So, yes, Kurt, you're on. You're on. I will absolutely go do that excursion with you. Leslie wants to know if we have any updates for a group cruise to the Mediterranean. Not yet. We're still working on that. It has been an incredible year. I think we've definitely doubled our bookings from last year. We might even be closing in on tripling them. So when we have that much bookings going on and it's just Rebecca and I, we don't have a whole lot of time to talk about that. That's why the Thanksgiving group cruise kind of got a little bit messed up, because we can't form a group. We waited too long, but we just haven't had the time to really think about it. But that's coming. A Mediterranean group cruise is coming, and a river group is coming. Just give us some time to get it all put together, and then we will make some announcements. So I hate teasing you like that. And I'm also talking to Tony and Jenny, trying to find out what they want to do. You know, Lido, Loca, Tony and Jenny are our travel partners, and they want to put together some more groups too. So we want to coordinate with them as well, so that, we're not both creating the same groups. So just give us a little time. I think they're just getting on the Sun Princess this coming weekend, I think, with Don and his group. So that should be a lot of fun. So just give us a little bit of time. And then we'll be able to give you more information. But I'm excited. You have an Echo offer. I'm not sure what that is. Do you know what that is, Rebecca? I'm so sorry, Chantel. I don't know what an Echo offer is. I've never heard of it. Brandy's been to Alaska twice on Norwegian. You love them both. That's awesome. John's getting excited about MSC. Yeah, if you have not been following the MSC social team, they are starting to post a lot about World America. They're starting to learn from Royal Caribbean and some of the others. I mean, Royal Caribbean did an amazing job with their whole Icon of the Seas reveal with YouTube and that continuing series. Everybody's learning that, oh man, maybe we should be showing off our ships while they're under construction because people want to see them. So yes, if you tune into MSC, the World America is coming. She's getting really close to being completed. Rebecca and I are planning to do the yacht club on that at some point. So stay tuned. That's going to be amazing. Jeff, what is my opinion of Mexico possibly imposing an additional tax on cruise passengers? That's certainly their right to do that. The Bahamas did it. I think a few other places are starting to do it. I mean, as more and more people are coming, it's a great source of revenue, obviously, for the local area.
Well, and the amount of people that a cruise ship drops off
exactly
can stress the local facilities. So, the taxes help to fund that.
Exactly. Like look at San Juan. I mean, San Juan is getting private investment, but they're also using the tax to basically rebuild all the terminals down there. So it does not surprise me because people are getting inundated with cruise passengers. So that is totally their right to do. And of course, the cruise lines are going to pass that along to us. Typically, it's anywhere from say an extra $2 to $10 per person. So you're not really going to see a tremendous amount. It's not going to affect your cruise fare tremendously, but yeah, you'll see a little something there. So, Brandy, you've been planning a cruise with me and it's been so easy. Oh, thank you. That is so nice. I really appreciate the kind words. We try. Look, we know we're not perfect. This entire company is Rebecca and I, and we are backed by an amazing host agency called KHM Travel Group. There's about 5,200, 5,500 travel agents total. And we have an amazing home office up in the Cleveland area. Cleveland, the cruise capital of the world. All the cruise ships go there. It's amazing.
There are cruise ships that go there.
I know. But, and John Heald loves to talk about it all the time. I love John. So, it's literally, we are a small business and we're not perfect. We try extremely hard to create amazing memories for all of you guys. And, we try to own up to things when things don't quite go right. And it's because of us. We try to own up to it and try to do our best to make it right. And when it's not our fault, we still try to do right. We can't solve every problem. We can't get every solution that you want, but we do try. So thank you, Brandy. Stacy is saying that the Apex is wonderful. They had an ocean view on deck 3 that was near everything and so comfortable. Not wanting to fight on Carnival. That is so rare that it actually happens. People associate fighting with Carnival because every time there is one, all the cameras come out. But if you think about the millions of people who are going on Carnival every week, and by the way, the Icon of the Seas just had a fight as well. So Carnival is not the only cruise line, and predominantly it's going to be on those 3-night cruises, which let's just admit, those are party booze cruises. So there we have been on, 30, we're going to be on over 40 cruises very shortly. We've never seen a fight. We've never really even, we've heard some arguments. Yeah. But we've never actually seen a fight. And I would gladly go on Carnival tomorrow. No problem.
Maybe not a 3-day weekend cruise, but.
Yes. Oh, Diana, thank you. Yes, please do reach out. It is a lot of information. Cruising is one of the easiest forms of vacation, but it is also one of the most confusing things, especially when you're new to the industry. And even folks that have been cruising, we've been cruising almost 20 years, and we still need to figure things out because the rules are constantly changing.
And we get so many cruise lines where wait, which one does that? Which one does this?
And since the pandemic, things have been changing at a rapid rate. Packages are being added. Things are being taken away. New fees are being added. Fees are being taken away. This policy is this. So many things are changing so rapidly. And I think, when you plan your own vacations and you book your own cruises, a lot of people just keep going back to Royal, Carnival, Princess. I know them. I know exactly how they work, so I'll just keep booking them. And you're kind of nervous to get outside your lane, but that's where working with a travel agent like us really makes that a little bit more fun, if you will, because we can tell you, well, these are the differences between the various cruise lines, and maybe start going out and exploring, because the perfect cruise line doesn't exist. We know that, but there's a lot of things to like about everybody. Everybody has negatives. Everybody has cons, but there is a lot. The pros far outweigh the cons on every cruise ship. You just need to know what there is out there. So,
and as far as the 3-year-old goes, the key to the kids clubs and the water features is whether or not she'll be potty trained.
Yeah,
so that'll be the
true.
key.
Hey, Joe, good morning. I hope it's balmy and sunny up there in Chicago. Colette, Mexico passed a $42 fee and most to fund the military, not fully approved yet. Thank you, Colette, for that. So a $42 fee. Obviously that's going to make some changes. What will happen is some cruise lines will decide to drop some of those stops and go to other places. We've seen it happen. And then others are just going to be like, you know what, it's $42 more to come into the port. So, and especially if you have multiple stops in Mexico, I haven't gone to read the rules, but is that going to be $42 for every single port stop in Mexico, or is it going to be $42 for that first port and then for the rest of it? I don't know. But if it's going to be $42 for every one, well, then yeah, that'll start to have that'll start to have an impact. So,
well, there's lots of ports that charge more than that for
a lot more
fees,
than that.
so.
Yeah. Hey, Silver Librarian, how are you? Good morning. Good morning, Sunday crew, and good morning to everybody. Hey, I'm going to walk through some of our let's see. Teddy is asking about recommend an Egypt Nile Petra tour company. I cannot recommend one off the top of my head, especially if you're talking about land tours. I will have to go look up. I mean, so right off the bat, I would think about Talc or Trafalgar or even Colette. Those are just some of them, but I would have to look them up.
And there are several river cruises that
Yes.
go.
Yeah, so you can do, you've got Uniworld is down there. Viking obviously is there. I think Ama is there. So there's a lot of different options, but I can't recommend a specific one because I don't know exactly what you're looking for. In some cases, it might be a land tour is better. In other cases, a river tour might be better. So I would have to, one, I'd have to ask you a lot of questions. And then B, because I don't book Egypt and Petra very often, I would have to go back into our research and get my notes. So I don't want to just give you information, just start shooting stuff off that may or may not even apply to what you're doing. Exotica, I have never sold an Exotica all-inclusive resort, so I honestly can't give you any information about that. Let's talk about the group cruises real quick, and then I'll come back and answer some more questions. Our first group that we're talking about is Tony and Jenny B at Lido Loca. They are going to be sailing on the very first cruise out of Philadelphia in decades. It's going to be the Norwegian Jewels, sailing April 16th through the 23rd, 2026. Going to be 7 nights, basically a Bermuda Triangle cruise. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to sail from Philadelphia down to Bermuda. We'll spend a couple days in Bermuda. Then we'll go to Charleston, South Carolina, which is going to be really awesome. And there will be group events on the ship. We're also planning to spend 2 nights in Philadelphia pre-cruise. I'm going to be setting up some tours, maybe a food tour, things like that. I'm actually starting to work on that right now. So that's April 16th through the 23rd, 2026. There's approximately 250 people already booked on that cruise. So if you want to come see Tony and Jenny B and spend a week with them, certainly do that. Now, February, our group is about to close because final payment is coming up. And once final payment comes up, the group is closed. February 11th through the 17th, this coming February 11th through the 17th, it's a Valentine's cruise on the Margaritaville Islander. It is one of the best deals that we have ever had on a group. I still can't get over the pricing on this one. But Tony and Jenny B are coming to join us because it is their wedding anniversary in February. We're going to have a captain vow renewal on the ship. That's included with the cruise. So if you want to come and enjoy that. Prepaid gratuities are included, and I have been told that possibly the Wi-Fi is included. I need to check with Margaritaville on that. February 11th through the 17th, we're sailing out of Tampa. We go to Key West, Progresso, and Cozumel. If you'd like to come join us, I think I only have about 3 or 4 cabins left on that at the group rate. We would love to have you come join us and Tony and Jenny B. There will be a Lido Loca meetup during the event. During the cruise, and we will have a couple of group events going as well. I think we have about 150 people on that one between myself and another agent. If you'd like to go to Hawaii, we have a Hawaii group cruise, February 4th through the 20th. We will be sailing from Los Angeles to Honolulu, Hilo, Kahului, Kauai, and Ensenada. We will be on the Emerald Princess for 16 nights. And we're planning to tack on maybe 3 days at Disneyland prior to the cruise because I've never been to Disneyland. I really want to go. So if you want to come join us, that is the Emerald Princess, February 4th through the 20th of 2026. That's actually just a couple of months before we go out with Tony and Jenny B. Next year, if you want to go to Alaska, I had some great conversations about this with some folks yesterday. We have the Oceana Riviera. It's only 1,200 passengers, very small ship, going up to Alaska June 26th through July 8th of 2025. So that's 12 nights. We're going to go to 8 ports, round trip Seattle. Rebecca and I have already booked our hotel. We're going to be in Seattle for 3 nights. 2 nights, 3 nights.
Think 3.
Yeah, I think we're going to be in Seattle for 3 nights.
I think we land in the afternoon, so we've got 2.5 full days, basically.
So we're going to explore Seattle, and some of the folks that nothing really planned, but some of the folks in our group are going to be coming in early as well. So we're going to explore Seattle. June 26th through July 8th, 2025, we're going to Alaska on the Oceana Riviera. And then last but not least, we have, I think, 3 cabins left on the Norwegian Aqua, the brand new ship coming from Norwegian. I think she launches in March or April. We're going to be on May 31st through June 7th. Out of Port Canaveral, we've got Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, Tortola, and Great Stirrup Key. So 7-night cruise, 4 stops. That's unusual in the Caribbean. Usually a 3-stop with 3 sea days, but we're going to have 4 stops, which is going to be really, really nice. So May 31st through June 7th of 2025. Those are all the group cruises that we have going right now. If you missed any of that or you want to see any of that, just go to where'swaltertravel.com. I have a group travel tab up there, and you can see all the groups right up there. Laura Lynn wants to know if we have a newsletter, email updates on deals, groups, and things like that. I do have email blasts that I send out. I try to send out at least one per week. You can sign up actually on our homepage of the website. If you scroll down about halfway down the page, you'll see the little sign up thing. I used to have it at the top, but it's kind of annoying up there. So it's about halfway down the page. But yes, you can sign up. I don't necessarily, people say, well, you send out updates on deals. I did that for a while, but, we work with like 35 different cruise lines, and it's kind of like if you're looking for a special for a destination or a cruise line, most people just reach out to me. Say, hey, Walt, I'm looking, I want to go on Celebrity in June. What do you got? And I'll just go ahead and take a look at what Celebrity has at that time. So I do send out emails and I do let people know about our groups. But the deals, I send those out maybe once or twice a month. When I see what looks really good. Like right now, if you want to know who's got some really good deals out there right now, Virgin Voyages, they've dropped their pricing up to $4,000 on some of their cruises. Azamara has really, really good deals. Explorer Journeys. If you've been looking at Explorer Journeys and going, man, that's a beautiful cruise line.
Luxury.
Yeah. Explorer Journeys has some amazing prices. Oceania has some really good deals going right now. Princess has some really good deals going right now. Disney, not so much. Royal Caribbean, not so much. Royal Caribbean is basically the same old pricing. Royal Caribbean has good deals on their amenities right now, but not so much on the cruises. But if you're looking for good cruise deals, the best that I've seen at this time, really, so you got Princess, Virgin Voyages, Azamara, Oceania, and Explorer. They're all good deals right now. Yeah. So, hey, Bill. Bill is one of our clients right now. They're on the Scarlet Lady in the Mediterranean. They're bringing the Scarlet Lady back to the United States after what they called her glow up. She was the very first Virgin Voyages ship to go through dry dock. And they converted Razzle Dazzle to Lucky Lotus by Razzle Dazzle, which is an Asian restaurant. So hopefully, Bill, you'll have a chance to go there and tell us how that is. They added 20 suites. So they removed 40 balconies and they replaced them with 20, I think they were Seriously suites on there. Plus,
they did the bar up at the
Grounds Club 2 is now a bar. It's a fully operational bar, so it's coffee and a bar, and I think it's open till like 11 o'clock at night, which is fabulous because I like my late night coffee. Oh, Barbara, you're saying that it's your anniversary as well during that cruise. You're talking about the Margaritaville cruise. That is awesome. And good morning, Kev Rock. How you doing? Good to see you. But yeah, Bill, I hope you guys are having a great time on the Scarlet. I hope everything was finished. It looked like everything was finished. That new mermaid is quite interesting too. If you haven't seen, they replaced the original Scarlet Lady mermaid with a new mermaid, and she's got some hair. She has some amazing hair on her. So, and if you've never seen a Virgin Voyages ship, each of them has a mermaid on her bow, which is actually pretty cool. And they're all different. I do love that they're all different. So, yeah, Bill, I hope you guys are having a great time. Virgin Voyages, it's funny. I still get a lot of people who are just nervous. They're scared. I don't know, man. Virgin Voyages looks like it's crazy. It looks like it's wild, but it's not. It's actually not. Does it have a crazy and wild party? Yeah, it's called Scarlet Night, and that is one night. Plus, they have some really interesting entertainment that does not appeal to everybody. You know, some of those shows and things like that may not appeal to everybody. But then, you know, there's shows on Celebrity that we will not go to, and there's shows on other cruises like that we won't go to. But Virgin Voyages is one of the most chill. It is one of the most relaxed cruise lines you have ever been on. And it's a real social cruise line in the sense that there is so much seating that it's very inviting to just sit and hang with your fellow sailors. And there's so many like trivia games and arts and crafts and all of these other things going on with the Happenings team that it's really easy to meet new people through games, through events, through activities. there's nothing to be quote unquote scared about on Virgin Voyages. If you are an adult, if you're over 18 years old, and I don't care if you're 98 years old, if you're young at heart and you're looking for something new and you're tired of getting nickeled and dimed on every other cruise line, and maybe you'd like to enjoy that hammock out on the balcony, that amazing red hammock, you really should try out Virgin Voyages. I mean, look, we're a top 100 sales agent with them, so we can certainly dispel any myths or make you feel comfortable about going on the ship.
And just, we've been on Virgin six times now. I have yet to go to Scarlet Night because I'm just not a real big party person. Plus, it's super loud.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy doing the ship without that party.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, too, once the whole party moves upstairs, so you can just hang out downstairs, hang out on the Rocks. On the Rock, if you're a fan of live music in the evenings, On the Rocks, which is a whiskey bar, has some of the most amazing live music at sea. They really do. Sandra, will we be sending out info on the meet and greet on the Margaritaville Valentine's Cruise? Absolutely. So we just had Alyssa. So myself and Alyssa Blackman is the other travel agent that is booking this whole group together. She came over here this week and we started working on the schedule and we started working on some ideas. So yes, we will be sending some updates. I'm actually going to be on the ship January 28th with a big corporate group that's doing a sales meeting on the ship. So we're going to finalize some things, but you will be getting the schedule. And we're going to be sending it probably after the new year because we're still finalizing things with Margaritaville, trying to figure out the venues. It's interesting. Cruise ships and cruise lines, they don't like to finalize things until about 30 days out. So, I don't know, because they've got so many things going on. They're like, okay, we don't want to start thinking about you until we get closer to the ship. So closer to the sail date. So yeah, we will be sending out stuff. Oh, Jennifer, you just sent stuff for the Margaritaville cruise. Great. We've gotten quite a few folks reaching out in the past few weeks. So yeah, hopefully we're going to finish out our group booking this week because we will be closing it. Peggy, 260 somethings, love VV, the party atmosphere if you want it, but it's easy enough to avoid. You can't wait to go back. And I think that's it in a nutshell. If you want to party all night, you go to the Manor. You go to some of the the dance parties and stuff that will happen in the Red Room. But then this last one, they had this stupid, silly mind magician guy. It was called the Mind Mangler, and the whole thing was supposed to be comedy, and it was great. They have some really good shows on Virgin Voyages if you just want to chill and relax. Yeah, John is thinking that they need to design a new ship. I don't know that they do need to design a new ship. I don't know that there will be another ship coming anytime, within the next 10 years. I don't even know. But yeah, they're not talking about new build at all, but the Brilliant will be out in September. What they are doing now is every ship, when she goes into dry dock, Razzle Dazzle will be changed. So Razzle Dazzle will now be a unique experience on every single one of the lady ships. They may do a few other tweaks as well with the various ships, but they finally realized that making 4 absolutely identical ships not the way to go. But in their defense, too, the pandemic really messed everything up. They had a 4-year plan. Scarlet was going to come out a year later. Valiant would come out a year later. Resilient would come out. And then a year after that, Brilliant would come out, which would give them time to make modifications to the ships. Well, it didn't work out that way. Scarlet and Valiant came out back to back because Scarlet never even got a chance to get started before the pandemic. And by the time we started sailing again, Valiant was ready. So they are twin sisters. They are total twin sisters. Resilient, slightly different.
No, not anymore. They're not.
Well, now they're not now. But and then Resilient is slightly different. And then Brilliant, they were finally able to do some things different on Brilliant. They haven't really told us much about her yet. They're keeping it all under wraps. And I've also been told that they might even send her back in and do a few more tweaks before she even comes out. So Virgin kind of was in a weird spot. And that was one of the things, we had a great town hall with their leadership a few weeks ago. And that was one of the things that they talked about, that their launch was really screwed up because of the pandemic and the fact that they released 3 ships in 9 months. That's unheard of in the cruise industry, to release that many ships that quickly. You look at the Icons, you look at the Sphere class, you look at all the ships that are coming out, and while they might have multiple ships under construction, they're spread out by a year or year and a half, so then they can listen to guest feedback. Virgin Voyages didn't have any time to listen to guest feed. They just had to guess. They had to get, well, we think this is what everybody's going to want. So, okay, the 3 ships are coming out. And now, you look 2.5 years later and they finally got all this feedback, and all that feedback is going into the Scarlet, actually 3 years later, all that feedback is going into the Scarlet Lady. And then whoever's going to be next as the ships rotate in, they will all be updated. So I think it can be really, really exciting. Really, really exciting. So John's wondering, hey, Bill, you're off to the Richards rooftop. Have a great time, man. Have an awesome time on the cruise. Thanks so much for checking in. Irene said they just recently went on the Islander for the Hero Sale free, and you were pleasantly surprised. However, they need to upgrade their buffet.
Yeah, I'll agree there.
The buffet is functional, right? So they got great pizza, and the buffet is not the best. What I recommend on the Islander for breakfast is to go out to the Mexican Cutie Cantina. They make really good breakfast burritos. For lunch, you get the pizza. That's really, really good. But it's not the it's not the best buffet out there. They know that.
But you're not paying top dollar either.
No. So you're paying, really like less than even MSC. So you kind of got to take the good with the bad. And I will go on that ship every single time just for the just for the cheeseburgers in paradise, for the pizza, and even the sushi. We were impressed with the sushi. But yeah, the buffet, especially for breakfast, the buffet is very underwhelming for sure. And I would go to the main dining room. The main dining room actually was quite good, and I've heard it's gotten even better. And I'll be trying out the JWB Steakhouse soon. But for what you pay for the Islander, I kind of give it a pass on the buffet. It's like, yeah, it's not the best buffet in the world. Then again, neither is Carnival. I really don't like Carnival's buffet either, but I'll go on Carnival ship.
Or Norwegian.
They're fun. Oh God, Norwegian's buffet. Well, it'll be interesting on Aqua because they have the food hall. Yeah. So that'll be cool. So yeah. Hey, good morning, Tammy. How are you? Greg, kind of disappointed they did that with Razzle Dazzle. You really enjoyed their food. We are in the minority, apparently. We really enjoyed the food in Razzle Dazzle too, as is. But apparently it was not as well received. And I guess when they looked at all the restaurants, they said, well, that's the easiest one to change. And if you look at the pictures from the post-Scarlet dry dock, you can see she looks similar but different. And they just said, look, that's the one we're going to change. Now, Bill has not had a chance to go there yet, so it is the Lucky Lotus. It'll be interesting to see what the other ones are. Are they going to do a Greek one? Will they do an Indian restaurant? That would really excite us if they made an Indian restaurant, because only the British cruise lines have, actual Indian restaurants on the ship. The other ship might have, you might find an Indian night in a restaurant. You're going to usually find Indian food in the buffet. But I will go nuts if they actually create an Indian restaurant, if they convert Razzle Dazzle to an Indian restaurant on one of them. It would not surprise me because, Italian's already on there. Mexican is already on there. So now they've done Asian, which they didn't have.
Well, they had Gunbei, but that's different.
That's Korean barbecue. That's a very specific. And then, so they don't have Greek. They don't have Indian. What else could they do?
French.
They could do French. I hope they don't.
No, it's not my favorite
really fit
cuisine.
The vibe.
Spanish, maybe.
They could do a tapas restaurant, like a full-on tapas restaurant. That would be nice. Which they do have, in the back. They do have a really nice, but that's just, a very small menu. But they could do a nice big Spanish tapas restaurant. That would be awesome. I would love that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Gunbei is probably my least favorite.
See, I like
all the
Gunbei.
Restaurants. But yeah, it's okay. Okay.
Honestly, I like Gunbei.
Yeah, I like going there. It's fun. So we'll need to go there in January.
I would put, for me personally, I would put Test Kitchen and Extra Virgin and the Wake lower than Gunbei.
Yeah. Steven wants to know best cruise line for Europe. There is no best cruise line for Europe. There's the ship and the itinerary that's best for you. Because we've got all kinds of different ships. We've got all kinds of different itineraries. It depends on whether the ship is more important to you or the itinerary is more important to you. And then of course it all depends on your budget as well. Some of the lines that we book the most in Europe, in Mediterranean and Europe, Princess, Holland America, Celebrity, Azamara, Oceana, starting to book a little bit more Explora as people find Explora. But there is no best cruise line. People ask me all the time, what's the best cruise line for this, that, or the other? There really isn't, because all of the cruise lines have different ships. So yeah, Stephen, trying to find a balance is hard. And that's one of the nice advantages of working with us. One, we do book a lot of them. So we're constantly looking at, all the various options. Oh, I didn't even mention Celestial. Celestial Cruises is a small Greek-owned cruise line that like if you just want to go to Greece, that's a really good one. Azamara has these intensive cruises. So if you just want to do Italy, you just want to do Greece, you just want to do Spain. Oh my God, the one that they have up in like Norway, Iceland, incredible. I didn't even mention Hurtigruten and some of the expedition lines over there too, because you got Silversea, you got Hurtigruten, and some of the others. So because, one, we're constantly researching over there so we can see what everybody's offering. But most importantly, what we try to do is we try to listen to what's important to you. What ports do you really want to go to? What do you want to do? So how much time are you going to need in some of those ports? And then what's important to you on the ship? And then and it's like anything else, depending on the time you want to go, where you want to sail from, there will be a finite number of ships and itineraries available at that time. And then we'll help you find the option that works best for you. We just did Norway. We just booked a Norway cruise yesterday. With a couple that chose, I think, the Celebrity Apex or Celebrity Ascent. It's one of the A ships. And, we had gone back and forth for a couple of months and presented them, I think, maybe 8 or 10 different options during a couple of months. And then they finally thought on it and they said, you know what, this is the ship we really want to go on. It's a 14-night cruise. Other guests have chosen, like Azamara is only 700 guests, very small, very intimate experience. So it's like anything else. There is no best of anything. It's really what's best for you and your itinerary and your needs, and of course the budget as well. Because
what's best for, say, me is not going to be the same thing as what's best for you.
Exactly.
And you got to decide whether you're prioritizing the ship, the itinerary, or the budget. Yeah. Those are the 3 big things that.
Exactly. So, and how much time do you have too?
Well, yeah.
That's a big thing. For me, if I'm going, if you live in the United States and you're going to go to Europe, a 7-night cruise that's a lot of flying for 7 nights. I would want to do at least 10 nights. Or if you're going to do a 7-night cruise, like we did a great package for one of our clients where it was a 10-night cruise, but they ended up spending 21 days in Europe. Because we put together a package on the front, we put together a package on the back. So they were on land for some time, then they did the cruise, and then they were on land again, and it was a one-way cruise. The other thing too, do you want to do a round trip or do you want to go one way? Because if you do an open jaw one-way cruise, then you're going to see more ports than if you're doing the round trip, because the ship doesn't have to come back. And that can be fabulous too. You fly into Barcelona, you spend a couple of days in Barcelona exploring. You take the cruise, you end up in Athens, Greece, or you end up over in Venice. Maybe you end up in Southampton, and now you can spend some time there too. So there's a lot of factors that go into play with the cruising, and then we have some clients that actually do the round trip, which is a lot of fun. Like you'll take Cunard in one direction, you'll be in Europe, you do a Mediterranean cruise or something, and then either you take Cunard back or you take another ship back. So those are options up there as well, and it can be cheaper. Then it can be cheaper to actually do the round trip on a cruise than it is to even do, say, economy on a flight. Certainly cheaper than doing business or first. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Gary, are there any cruises to Antarctica? Oh, absolutely. Gary Bembridge is just finishing his 3rd one on Seabourn right now. Can you get off the ship? Yeah, there are certain locations that you can get off the ship. Most of the time, I think probably all the time, it's going to be a Zodiac. You're going to get in a Zodiac boat, those little inflatable boats. They're going to run you up. So you really gotta, you gotta have good balance. You gotta have good legs because you are going to be stepping down into a little Zodiac. You're going to be stepping up. Usually, what they do is they carve like steps into the ice, or they'll put a ladder there. But if you check out Tips for Travelers, Gary Bembridge is literally completing his 3rd one. Viking goes there. Seabourn goes there. Hurtigruten goes there. I think like Norwegian they just canceled it. There are some other cruise lines that go there, but if you're going to go there, you want to go with somebody that's an expert in Antarctica.
And when any of the mainstream cruise lines go there,
Mm-hmm.
You're probably not going to get off the ship
Correct.
in Antarctica.
Correct. You need to be on a small expedition ship. Or if you are, so I have heard of this, that there's like lotteries or something like that. Like, you know, you've got 2,000 people on the ship, but only like 500 are going to be allowed to go to whatever. So not everybody's going to get off the ship. So there are some options like that from time to time as well. But if you're going to go there, you want to go on a small ship. You want to go with somebody who's actually going to take you on land. In fact, I've even heard that about like Hurtigruten and some of the expedition, that there are times that it's limited on how many people are allowed to go up on land. This is all very tightly controlled. So sometimes even if you go on some of these smaller ships, you still may not be able to go land. And of course, this is all based on weather. It is one of the most dangerous places in sea. The Drake Passage is that is where we had that unfortunate incident where the wave broke the windows on a brand spanking new Viking ship, and unfortunately, a passenger lost her life inside her cabin when the water came rushing in. So it is a very dangerous place to go. You want to make sure.
That is unusual, by the way.
Yeah, it is unusual, and they time these cruises out to try to go to the Drake Passage during the safest time. But it's still a dangerous area. Irene, you said you heard Hurtigruten was sold. Yeah, so that has been going on for about 6 months. That process started about 6 months ago. What happened was they split Hurtigruten Expeditions. It's now its own company, HX. They're now called HX. But Hurtigruten, the original coastal tour company, they're still a Norwegian-based company. But that process started about 6 months ago. They announced that, and it just finished, basically. They just finally finished the whole process. So now HX is his own thing, and it's really good for them because they just got a real nice cash injection. So they're going to be able to expand their offerings. They're going to be able to start expanding their itinerary. But now HX and Hurtigruten Expedition and Hurtigruten, the Norway company, they're now two different companies. I think it's actually good for everybody because it was kind of confusing when you had Hurtigruten and it's like, wait, which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the expedition ships? Or are you talking about, the coastal ships? I think it's actually kind of good that they split. I think it was really good when they renamed them HX because that kind of helps a little bit. But yes, Hurtigruten, they just completed the sale. So, hey, Donna, how you doing? Yes, we did have a great Thanksgiving. I hope everybody else had a great Thanksgiving too. So, Barbara says you highly recommend going ahead of time to explore before your Mediterranean cruise. We highly recommend that as well, just for the time change. Yeah. Try to get in there like 2 days early so you can be used to, because if you're flying from the United States in general, you're going to lose a day when you go there. So you take off today, you're going to land tomorrow. When you come home, you actually land, usually if you take off in the morning, you're going to land in the evening of the same day. So that's kind of nice. So when you come home, you don't lose a day. Still a long day of travel. But when you're going to Europe, we highly recommend going like 2 days early. Number one, you kind of want to explore the area, right? But number two, you can kind of acclimate yourself to the time change and get ready for it. So
and Brian, Walter's with you on the MSC private island. He loves it.
Where?
Right above Barbara.
Oh, Brian, I'm so sorry. You're taking the MSC Seashore to their island and Mexico to end of October. Looking forward to it. I'll tell you what, if you have not been on MSC and you've not been to Ocean Key yet, man, that's a beautiful island. I know there's a lot of people like, there's nothing to do there. That's the whole point. It's the whole point of it. It's just a natural, beautiful island. If you're a huge fan of Coco Cay, you're not going to like Ocean Key. But if you just want to go to a Caribbean paradise, if you will, what they did is so beautiful about it. There's areas of it that still look scraggly, and I'm like, I'm fine with that. But what they did that's beautiful about it, there's nice, big, wide, paved pathways on it. So if you are somebody that needs a scooter or wheelchair or otherwise mobility challenge, walker, it's actually very easy to get around that island. And the other nice thing about it, the ship is generally no more than about 10, maybe 15-minute walk from anywhere on the island because there is no extended pier. The ship pulls right up to the island, and that's because it used to be an industrial island where they did mining for sand on there. Believe it, I didn't know that they mined for sand, but apparently
it was sand for industrial uses.
Yeah, industrial use and aquariums.
Playgrounds.
And because of that, they built a pier that was literally right up against the island. And when MSC went in there, and they've won so many awards for completely renovating that island, and now it is a true marine sanctuary, which is beautiful. That's another reason why they're not building like all kinds of stuff up on it. Ocean Key to me is the most beautiful private island in the Bahamas. It really is nice. Nothing against Coco Cay. I enjoy Coco Cay. I'm really looking forward to Celebration Key from Carnival, but that, and especially if you can get the overnight one, oh man, that overnight's actually kind of cool. Waking up the next morning, you get to watch the sunset over the island, and then you wake up the next morning, go right back out on the island. It's very, very cool.
And plus, it allows them to have their beach party when it's nighttime, so it's not so hot.
Exactly. So you can make the you can actually have a good time at the beach party, and it's 9 o'clock at night instead of 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the blazing sun. And WDW guy says the right thing. The photos you can take of the ship sitting on the beach right next to the pier is worth it alone, because you can stand on the beach. And to add to that, the pictures that you can take at night of the ship all lit up, and you're standing on the beach and you got the water in front. Oh my God, it's such a beautiful sight to see the ship all lit up at night, tied up at the dock right there by the beach. It is absolutely amazing. If you do the overnight there, just know that the island does actually close at about 11:30 in the evening. So after the beach party, they do actually close the island at 11:30, and I want to say it reopens at 7, like 6 or 7 in the morning. And then the ship usually departs somewhere between 1 and 2 in the afternoon. So yeah, it's really, really cool.
And MSC does get a kind of a bad rap.
Yeah.
But if you know what you're getting into, you can have a great time.
Oh, it's a fabulous cruise line for what it is. Okay. There are shortcomings with it. There are definitely shortcomings with it, but kind of like what we talked about with Margaritaville earlier, for what you're paying to go on the ships, I will say Margaritaville has better entertainment, in my opinion. They have better live music and they have better shows on the Margaritaville ship. But when you always have to consider, what am I paying for this compared to what I could be paying on other guys? I think a lot of disappointment with cruises comes with, especially when you're used to one cruise line and you go to another one. And of course, you're naturally going to compare, say MSC to Royal Caribbean. I've been on Royal Caribbean a lot. That's a horrible comparison. I'll tell you that right up, because Royal Caribbean's entertainment is second to none in the industry, and their service is, in my opinion, far superior than what you're going to get on MSC. But if you accept them, but if you're in the yacht club, well, that's a different animal altogether. But if you accept MSC for what it is, service may not always be the best, food may not always be the best, but the rooms are great, ships are beautiful, the pools are deep.
You won't go hungry, even though the food
you won't
may
go
not
hungry,
best.
and the
There's
coffee is
plenty to
amazing too. So
yeah, Walter will even drink the coffee in the buffet, and he doesn't do that on any other
no, I
cruise
don't.
line.
I will actually drink the coffee out in the buffet there because it's so good. But you just have to, and that's part of what we do as travel agents, is we try to set realistic expectations when you're going on some of these ships of what people are expecting and what you're going to get for the dollar. So for the dollar, MSC is an amazing cruise line. Margaritaville, amazing cruise line. It's just hard when you start comparing them to some of the other guys, which is natural to do. I mean, especially if you've been on one cruise line a lot. So. But it is, it's fun to help you guys compare and contrast and open up your horizons for other things. So,
Yes, we've always kind of been dabblers.
Yeah, we've always been dabblers. John is saying he paid less for a week in a yacht club on the World America than 5 nights in the retreat on Celebrity. And that's absolutely true. We can put you in the yacht club for less than a balcony on Royal Caribbean most of the time. And what's kind of cool about the yacht club is that there's an interior. There's a big interior room. So you don't even need to buy a balcony to go up into the yacht club. If you don't know what the yacht club is on MSC, it is a dedicated ship within a ship area. You need a key card just to get in there. You've got your own lounge, your own restaurant. You've got a butler. You got a concierge service. You have expedited boarding. You have your own area of Ocean Key.
It comes with internet and a drinks package.
Yeah, so all of that comes with it. So, and it actually has more inclusion than even the Haven. A lot of people know the Haven on Norwegian. Yacht Club actually has more inclusion. I think the only thing that comes close to the inclusion now is actually the Sanctuary Club on Princess, because that comes with Princess Premier, which is absolutely amazing. So, Kurt's saying that the Lighthouse show is great. Irene said Islander entertainment is far better than MSC. Yeah, I don't know what it is about MSC with their stage shows. They're just they're not the best. Nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with them. We just don't really, especially when you're used to Princess and Royal Caribbean and even Islander. The Islander has the Conky Tonk show. I'm not as big a fan of the Caribbean Heat show, but I do really enjoy the Conky Tonk show. I think that's great. And of course, all the musicians that the Islander find, they're great. All the musicians throughout the ship, they're absolutely freaking fantastic. So we really do enjoy that as well. And Norma likes Coco Cay. Coco Cay is beautiful. The only thing I wish they would have done was made an adults area that's more of a quiet retreat, which is why I'm so excited about Celebration Key with Carnival. They did. They made that Las Vegas party pool just like Hideaway Beach, but then they have another area that is a sanctuary, if you will. It's a quiet retreat from everything. And that's what we want. We want a nice quiet beach just to hang out.
It's a quiet retreat without children.
Yeah. It's adults only.
Because the Cocoa Beach Club is a quiet retreat, but there's kids there.
But there's kids there that hog the pool. So that's one of the reasons why we're looking forward to Carnival Celebration Key, because they did actually make an adults only quiet retreat area. I want to see what that's all about. And plus that island just looks crazy. It looks absolutely crazy. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know it sounds like an oxymoron because I just said how much I love Ocean Key because it has nothing there. It's still my favorite island. Celebration Key is not going to surpass that. But it will be nice to see what that adults only sanctuary is all about. So yeah, we'll be going to Celebration Key at some point. We might just be one of those last minute things. We just go run and get on a Carnival ship and go there. One of the advantages of living in Orlando, we're no more than 3.5 hours from every cruise port. So it is really, really, really nice. So, but yeah, no, we're getting excited. If you haven't been following along recently, we're preparing for a month at sea, almost a month at sea. We'll be on the Explorer 2, which is Explorer Journeys. That is one of their soon-to-be 6 ships in the fleet. We're going to be in the smallest room on the ship. It's a 330 square foot ocean terrace suite with a beautiful, the balcony.
I hope we can stand it, man.
I know.
Smallest room.
It has heated floors in the marble bathroom. It actually has a padded chaise lounger out there. It's got the coffee inside. I'm very excited about that.
For you ladies or men with thick, long hair, there's a Dyson hairdryer.
So
not the kind of weak little hair dryers most cruise lines have.
And everything's included on this cruise line except the excursions and one restaurant. They have an 8-course restaurant called Anthology, and I want to say it's $150 per person. So this is an all-included luxury cruise line that has been sailing for about a year. It is from MSC. It's from the same family as MSC, but it is like 1,000 degrees different than MSC, and that this is top of the line service, top of the line food, top of the line everything. So we're going to be exploring it for the first time. Flying down to Barbados. We'll be on the ship December 13th through the 20th. Then we'll spend 2 days in Miami, and then we hop onto the Azamara Journey for 16 nights. We're going to be on for Christmas and New Year's from December 22nd through January 8th, exploring the southern January 7th, exploring the Southern Caribbean on the Azamara Journey. Only 700 passengers. Actually less than 700 passengers. This is a mostly included cruise line. They're offering a lot of onboard credit right now. So we're going to be using that onboard credit for a lot of stuff. And not every restaurant is included. Most of the restaurants, most of the food is included, but not all of it is included. But they have been offering a lot of onboard credit. I think they have 2 specialty restaurants on this particular ship that are $50 per person to go to. But everything else, your coffee, they have alcohol, drinks, soda, all of that's included. Plus, they have a ton of food throughout the ship that is included. So I'm really looking forward to it. If you followed along with us last year on the Oceana Serena, this is actually a sister ship, different cruise line, but it is a sister ship to that one. So it's going to be really interesting on that. And then on January 8th, we're actually going to be on the Valiant Lady from January 8th through the 12th. Because we are once again 2 years running a top 100 sales agent for Virgin Voyages. They invite all the top 100 sales agents onto the ship. Just so happen to be coming back to Miami on January 7th. So we're going to stay overnight and we're going to go on the Valiant Lady and we will return home on January 12th. So we're going to be gone from December 12th to January 12th on 3 different cruise ships. So make sure you follow along. Yes, we're going to have our entire mobile office with us. So we will be working from all the ship. That's going to be a lot of fun. So
and we're flying into Barbados a day early, like we always
recommend everybody. We're flying into Barbados one day early to be there, so we don't miss the ship. And then after that, so we'll come back to Miami. We're going to spend 3 nights total in Miami between the 2 cruises. It doesn't make sense to come home up here in Orlando. I mean, technically we could, after Explorer, we could have taken the train up here and then taken the train back down, but that's just easier just to stay in Miami for a couple of nights. But
and plus we get to try out a new hotel.
Yeah, every time we go to Miami, we try to we have some of our favorites, but we've been finding some like new ones that have really good deals. So we're going to be trying some different hotels down there as well, so we can share with our clients. But we will be fully running the company from the cruise ships. Is one of the nice things with all of the Starlink and all the high-speed internet that's been happening, that we can go ahead and run our company from the ships. So it's great. So if you're a client, don't worry, we're taking everything with us. We can make phone calls, we can do video chats, we can manage your bookings, we can do all of that. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
And maybe we'll even have time to kind of talk about some loose Mediterranean cruise plans.
Yes, maybe. And I'm going to try to, every Sunday that we're not in port, or even if we're in port, maybe I'm going to try and do these lives every Sunday. And on Thursday nights, there's actually people traveling on the ships with us, like some vice presidents and sales people and things like that actually traveling on the ship. So I'm going to try and do my Thursday nights live from the ship, and hopefully with somebody from Explorer, with Azamara and Virgin Voyages.
Sitting right next to you.
Just sitting there rather than doing this whole remote thing. So that'll be a lot of fun. I really want to try to get Nirmal to come on when I'm on Virgin. Kurt saying that they enjoyed the MSC show. The Michael Jackson show was fantastic, and he loved the Peter Punk show. And you liked the food. The only issue with the attendants weren't overly friendly.
Yes, the service
on MSC is just odd.
Interesting.
It's odd because it's the only cruise line where I've seen crew like go out of their way to avoid eye contact. It's like they don't want to look at you, and like they had these little group conversations all throughout. And if you're standing there and you want to ask them a question, they will actively ignore you. It's just weird.
But we've also had some very nice people.
Oh yeah, we've had some great folks. Like the baristas are usually awesome. I love them.
And when we did our first one, the wait staff we had was hilarious.
The wait staff. We had MSC liked that assigned dining in the dining room, and we actually had 9:45 p.m. dining, which at first we were like, oh God, this is gonna be awful. But it ended up being a good thing because one, we got an amazing server, but number two, the restaurant was only half full. So we got great service. Like everything came out hot, everything came out quick. We didn't have any of the complaints that we hear some people say that, oh, well, my food took forever or it was cold. The big dining rooms. But when you only have half a dining room filled, things come out faster. But the server that we had, there was one night where like the whole menu was just not good. And everything that I would mention, she'd be like, well, what about, what about
one thing?
And then I finally hit the one thing. And she just pointed. She said, that one right there. So I love staff like that is like totally honest. It's like, yeah, no, you don't want anything on this menu, but that's okay. And that's okay. So it was absolutely hilarious. I loved her so much.
And that was the bowling alley above our heads.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had the bowling alley. That was on the MSC side, and the bowling alley was literally above our heads. We were trying to keep score. We were trying to, kind of count the pins that were falling down and see. It's like, who puts a bowling alley right above the restaurant?
Well, and at first
they did not do that on the seascape and the seashore. They only did it on.
We couldn't figure out what the noise was at first, and all of a sudden it occurred to me, like, wait,
bowling alley.
Is that the bowling alley?
Literally right above the restaurant, right above the main dining room. It was hilarious because every couple that would sit down around it, they would kind of look up, and then we go bowling alley. Oh, but then we were all trying to keep score. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. The Michael Jackson show was probably the best one that we saw, but we just had to leave because the sound was so poorly mixed. It was so overdriven. There was so much bass. We just had to leave. I don't mind loud music, but when it's just doesn't sound sonically good, we had to leave. Now we were sitting on the side, so maybe it would have sounded better if we were dead center, but so we needed to leave. The Peter Punk show was hilarious. I didn't quite get it, but it was kind of hilarious to go.
And I'm fairly sensitive to loud noises, so yeah. I pretty much had to wear hearing protection. 'Cause
Yeah.
I couldn't.
And she wears it to almost every show on
Well,
on every ship as well. So
very often.
Donna's saying the Hampton Inn in Brickell is a wonderful place to stay in Miami. It is. That's one of our go-to places. One of the go-to places that we book, because there's a lot of great restaurants right in that area. The nice thing about Miami, if you stay in the right place, you usually have like 40 restaurants to choose from, like within, say, 5 blocks of your hotel. I like the Brickell area, and I really like South Beach. There's some great hotels. If you just stay off of Ocean Drive, Ocean Drive is just where everybody's like cruising and all the partying's going on.
It's a little loud.
You stay just a couple blocks off of Ocean Drive, so you can walk there, have dinner, and then come back. But yeah, the Hampton Inn in Brickell, and then there's some hotels over there. There's a Novotel in there that we've been booking in, and Kimpton out in South Beach has become one of our favorites as well. So yeah, there's a lot of great places to stay in Miami. A lot of great places to stay in Miami. John can't wait until we announce our Mediterranean group. I can't wait either. We just need to figure it out. Because
we'll probably do several different things while we're there.
Yeah, our plan is when we go to Europe, we're going to do both an ocean cruise and a river cruise while we're there, because we're going to be there.
And maybe a land tour.
Maybe a land tour. Our good friends at Raro Travel, or Travel Raro, they really want us to come do one of their adult-only tours. So it's 20 people or less. It's adults only, and it's all-inclusive. So from the moment we show up at the tour, actually from the moment we get to the airport, they're going to meet us there, and everything's all included. I really want to do one of their land tours. So it's probably going to be like another one of those maybe a month and a half trip, because, once we're over there, we want to just stay there. It's a great, if you have the time and you can do it, if you live in the United States and you're going to go to Europe, try to plan at least 2 weeks so you can really enjoy the time and maximize, all that travel that you're doing to get over there. And whether it's just a cruise or it's land tour with a cruise, you really want to try to maximize your time. Just like, a lot of Europeans, when they come here, they spend, 2 weeks, sometimes a month here, because they want to explore various things, and you just got the one set of long flights. So John's saying that the Savoy South Beach is incredible. That is a beautiful place as well. We've done the Kimpton Surf Comber down there in Miami, which is absolutely fabulous. And we've done, I can't remember the name
one
of it.
on
El Paseo.
Yeah.
Which is back on, I can't remember the name of the street now.
Like Espanola Way or something.
Yeah. Espanola Way, which is a closed street. That's really nice down there as well.
A little loud, but they give you earplugs.
It can be loud. So Kim is saying, don't the MSC crew want a tip? I don't know. They're just it's kind of odd on MSC cruises, the way, you will find pockets of really good people, but for the most part, they just seem I call it indifferent. The crew is just very indifferent, which is very different than pretty much any other cruise line that you go on to. Like, we were just on the Sun Princess. Those guys were amazing. I love the Princess cruise so much. They're like so friendly from day one. So
and I will say that compared to most of the other cruise lines, who pretty much most of the other cruise lines, their public facing staff is pretty proficient in English. It's kind of a mixed bag on MSC. Yeah. Now, admittedly, they speak way better English than I speak, whatever it is their language is. So props to them for learning English. It's a weird language.
Yeah.
But you can have some communication issues at times.
More so than other cruise lines, like to the point where they need to bring other people over to like try to translate between the two, which is rather unusual with the public facing. With the public facing staff that's going to be out there interacting with the passengers, usually they're very proficient at English. Enough to have a conversation, but like sometimes you're just like even asking something as simple as directions to somewhere, or is there meat in this item on the buffet, and they don't understand what you're asking them. So it is a little bit of an odd duck on MSC, but
that's not every
ships
staff
are
member,
beautiful.
But
Ships are stunning. The pools are great. The specialty dining is really good, and I love their private island. And I think their rooms tend to be slightly larger per category than they are on other cruise lines. And then, of course, you've got that yacht club, which is phenomenal.
So, yeah, there's a lot to like about MSC.
A lot to like about them. We haven't put a group together on them because I really do not like the groups program. I don't like how they run it. which is kind of ironic because I don't like the way Margaritaville runs their groups either, but we're doing it anyway. But yeah, MSC does not have, from a travel agent perspective, it's very difficult to put together and manage a group on MSC. And that's why we haven't done one. We might do one in the future if they change it. But right now, that's the way the groups are. So we're not planning any groups anytime soon. But, you know, if you want to come sail with it, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 groups booking right now. Philadelphia, Hawaii, Valentine's Day, Alaska, and the Caribbean. So if you want to come cruise with us on a group cruise, just simply go to our website, wherever you're watching us. There's links in the description. There's links in the profile. Just go to our website, go to the group travel page. You will see them all listed. The one that's coming up is Valentine's Day. And we're going to be closing that one probably, I would say possibly by the end of this coming week. We're just going to close it because they're getting ready to recall all the cabins. So you'll have until the end of this week, and then we're just going to shut that one down because we won't be able to book anybody else. You'll still be able to book at the public rate, but we will not be able to put you into the group rates with the prepaid gratuities and all of that good stuff. If you want to join us, that's February 11th through the 17th, sailing out of Tampa with our dear friends Tony and Jenny B. Looks like Tony went nuts with Lego over Black Friday. If you haven't been following his stuff of late, but it looks like Tony went nuts with Black Friday. So, but yeah, February 11th through the 17th, Key West, Progresso, Cozumel. We will have some activities on the ship, including a Loca meetup during the cruise. So, Barbara, do we book any tours with Tour Hub? No, I don't even know who they are, to be honest with you. We work with Shore Excursions Group. We work with Venture Ashore. We work with Scepter. We work with Colette, Trafalgar, Tauk, Kontiki. Yeah, we work with quite a few folks, but I've never heard of Tour Hub.
Globus.
Huh? Globus. Yeah, they have the tours now too, or they've always had the tours. So yeah, so we do work, and Raro. I just talked about Raro a few minutes ago. Raro is really, I can't wait until they start expanding and getting into more places because again, it's adults only. It's only 20 people maximum. And it's all included, like literally all included, your accommodations, your food, whatever tours, and it is all going where the locals go. So for instance, when you're in Greece, you very well, or Italy, you very well may have dinner with, you may have dinner in somebody's home. You're going to go off and find these little restaurants that you have absolutely no idea. You would never find them on a guidebook. You'd never find them with anything. So that's what I really like about Travel Raro is that it's not going to be your standard, let's go to all the big places where everybody else goes. It's, I'm a local, I live here. Let me show you my Greece. Let me show you my Italy. And that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing. I think it's so exciting. Irene is saying with MSC, it may be a cultural issue. What it really is with MSC is a top-down management issue. It is a family-owned cruise line. So it's not like a public cruise line. They don't report to shareholders. It's owned by the family. And from what I've been told, they have actually brought in some consultants and some specialists to work on, you know, the culture and the food and the presentations and the entertainment, service. You know, like everything about the cruise line for the American audience. Because, you know, it is a more Americanized. When you're over here in North America, there are certain expectations from the American audience of what you're going to get on a cruise line. And from what I have been told, that has been met with resistance from the family, and it doesn't quite work out. So basically, the family doesn't have to answer to anybody. So they run the cruise line the way they want to. And the other thing that we're told too, that any decisions that need to be made on the ship, any minor to major decision that need to be made on the ship, have to go back to Italy, to the home office to be approved. So, you know, you had a bad dinner and you want to get a refund for your dinner. On Princess, on most other cruise lines, they would just, you know, they have the authority just to go ahead and take care of it right there. From what we're told, they have to go to the home office and ask them, hey, Walter had a bad meal in the steakhouse and he wants a refund. And then they have to wait for the home office to answer and give them that decision. So the ships are not, from what we're told anyway, and I'm not going to tell you who told me this, but from what I was told by a very good source, is that the ships are not empowered for customer service, for immediate customer service. And it does show. It does show. We're very used to, the manager coming over, or you go to guest services, or you do something like right on the ship, and, say 80% of the time is taken care of right there. Sometimes it does have to go back to shore, but generally, if it's going back to shore, it's like a major issue that really needs to be addressed. But if it's just a refund, or it's, things like that, usually that can be taken care of right there on the ship. It might take, 7 to 30 days for you to get your refund, but usually they can tell you on the ship, hey, the refund's being issued. With MSC, not so much. They can say, well, we're going to reach out to our management and ask them what we can do for you. So that's part of it as well, is that it's also a management and I don't want to say ownership issue, but it's the ownership style. It's a management and ownership style. That's how they run their ship. I think it stems from the freight lines, from the commercial lines. They are the largest, like MSC and Maersk are the two largest commercial freight shipping companies, and of course that's how they're going to run those. They don't want the captains, and they don't want that little 30-person crew making major decisions that might cost a lot of money. So all of those decisions have to be made by the home office. I think they're running the cruise lines the same way. And with the cruise lines, you kind of have to give some autonomy back to the ships and let them make decisions up to a certain point. Like you see with your Royal Caribbeans, your Norwegians, your Princess, all the other cruise lines that we're used to sailing on the North American side. So at some point, hopefully, they will, adjust their management style. I know the North American offices have really been pushing to say, hey, you really got to give us some autonomy here in North America so we can start making some decisions. The hope is that with the World America now launching, this is the first purpose-built ship specifically for the American audience. The hope is now with this coming out, the North American office can start taking some of that to this side of the pond, rather than everything having to always go to Italy. So hopefully that'll work. So,
and bottom line, we'll still sail on MSC regardless.
Mm-hmm. I would gladly. We did our seashore. It was like one of those last minute things. Hey, let's go get on the seashore for a week. Coming out of Port Canaveral. Absolutely. And then we got the World America coming. We're definitely going on the World America.
Well, we've done like 11 different cruise lines now, and there's not a single one I wouldn't go on again. No, just flat out wouldn't go on. There's some I might prefer, and some I might do certain places, but
exactly
0 of them I would never go on again.
Exactly what we say to you guys. Depending on the kind of vacation we want to take, we pick a specific ship for that location. Out of Hawaii, there really are not a lot of choices. If you want to do that LA to Hawaii run, and of course, if you want to go around Hawaii, there's only one choice. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen, Pride of America is going in for a dry dock, so she is getting her. She's going to be all touched up and made up. So if you've been thinking about Pride of America, but you're like, oh man, she's an old ship, she hadn't been touched in a while, and she has not been touched in a while. She is getting a full dry dock. I want to say early 2025. So if you're going, I think after summer of 2025, Pride of America is going to be all redone up. But, when we looked at Los Angeles to Hawaii, I think there was one choice at that point.
No, there was two.
Two.
Carnival and Carnival Radiance and the Emerald Princess.
And the Emerald Princess. So we only had two choices, and we took the Emerald Princess because we love Princess, and we love the Princess Plus. The Princess Plus is such a good package. And when you're going to be on the ship for 16 nights, having the unlimited Wi-Fi, that drink package, the casual meals, and things like that, there's a good case to be made to say, well, Princess Premier would be even better for 16 days. But right now we're with Plus. We can always upgrade to the Premier later if we want to. So we do the same thing. When we go on the Icon of the Seas, we know it's going to be a big, loud, crazy ship, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll do that for the Caribbean. But for Christmas and the holidays, we want a nice, quiet experience. We actually booked the Azamara Journey quite some time ago. That's a 16-night, only 700 passengers. It's not adults only, so there will be kids on there because it is going to be the holidays. But last year with the Oceana Serena, we had 50 kids, something like that, 52 kids.
And that was a record.
That was a record, and there's only 650 people on the ship. So that was a record for them. So, we wanted a nice, quiet thing. And then the opportunity presented itself from our representative to go finally check out Explorer 2. Just so happened to work with our schedule that we're able to go down there. It's still not a cheap cruise, but it's something that we have to do to, so we can bring you guys firsthand information about what the ship is really like. It's amazing. Then, of course, the Valiant Lady. Yes, we were invited on that one by Virgin Voyages by virtue of being a top 100. They don't tell us. Some people are like, so where are you? I don't know. I have no idea. They don't tell us. And in fact, when they do the awards for the top 5 or the top 10 agents, they don't even tell us which order they're in. So they will bring them all up on stage in a random order. Whether they tell them in private or not, if they're the number 1, I don't know. But we don't even know who the actual top of the top 100 is. But we're just honored to be there. We're there 2 years in a row. That's pretty good. So thank you to everybody. So John said he tested the idea of the Hawaii group cruise with your boss. Let's just say I wish I did not forget the out of work note from you on the Sun. See, I'm telling you, if anybody needs a note from me to get out of work, I'm happy to write them for you. They're worthless, but I'm happy to write them for you if you want to try taking them to your boss. Dear boss, John really needs 16 days to get out of work to go to Hawaii. It's good for his mental health and blah, blah. I can really make up a great letter for you guys. Totally worthless, but I'm totally happy to write get out of work letters for you. Sorry, John. See, you should have listened to me. It
carries zero weight, but
should have written the letter for you. See? Well, we're coming up on the top of the hour, folks, and that means I have a meeting coming up very shortly in an hour, so I need to start getting ready for that. I thank you all for joining us. Real quick, I'm going to run through Lido, Loca, Philadelphia group cruise, April 16th through the 26th, Norwegian Jewel for 7 nights. We've got the Valentine's group cruise coming up February 11th through the 17th. That's going to close this week. Captain Vow renewal is included. February 11th through the 17th, 2025 on the Margaritaville Islander. Hawaii, February 4th through the 20th, 2026 on the Emerald Princess, round trip for 16 nights. Alaska, June 26th, 2025 for 12 nights on the Oceania Riviera. 12 nights, 8 ports, round trip from Seattle. And then finally, the Norwegian Aqua, May 31st. Of 2025. That's going to be 7 nights from Port Canaveral. So if you want to come join us on any one of those cruises, please do reach out. Go to our website to learn more about all of these cruises. And of course, if we can help you in any way with your travel, just reach out. Where's WalterTravel.com. Our services are 100% free to you. We say that all the time, but it is true. Our services are 100% free to you. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your support. We really do appreciate it. And let's see, Thursday night, who do I have? Oh, I think I have rail bookers come. No, I have the Rocky Mountaineer coming on Thursday night. I've been forgetting to mention that. The Rocky Mountaineer is coming on Thursday night to talk about train travel. So how exciting is that going to be? All right, folks. So I'm going to sign off on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Have a great day, everybody. And we'll see you Thursday night.